Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and I've got a couple cool stories to share with you. Here's the first headline. Ripple's partner TransferGo gets extra $10 million investment, expands to 11 new countries. 11 new countries. Now, you can't count that on both your hands. Here's the next headline. I like this one, too. Because XRP is the best. From Cointelegraph survey. Japanese crypto holders prefer XRP over ETH. How about that? That's the type of hot jam I want to learn more about. But before we go any further, if you would please, ever so delicately, tap that like button. But don't get all smashy. I know you, Mr. Muscles. I'm looking at you getting ready to get all Hulk on that like button. It's not necessary. It's uncalled for. Be a gentleman or gentle lady. And just a little delicate tap will do. It'll still be very effective. It'll still help with the YouTube algorithm. And you will have the eternal appreciation of yours truly, Moon Lambo. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because this is, after all, an XRP-centric channel. And if you don't like it, you can get out. All right, into the first piece now. Ripple's partner TransferGo gets $10 million investment. Expands to 11 new countries. Tell me more, what's going on? Well, TechCrunch has written that Ripple's UK-based partner TransferGo has raised $10 million in extra funding from its investors. It has also announced a rollout to 11 new markets, including, I don't know why I said that weird, markets, like words are hard today, including Japan, where other Ripple-related payment platforms are already operating. And then they got this little subheading here. I'll tell you what, this is the opposite of burning my biscuits. This cooks my biscuits just right. $10 million in extra funding for TransferGo. In a recent article, TechCrunch reported that another RippleNet member received the $10 million, and it's an investment round which major companies such as Seventure, Vostok, Emerging Finance, and others participated. TransferGo emerged on the remittance market 8 years ago, operating mainly for third world citizens who worked in Europe and sent cash home to their relatives. And the biggest number of clients were from India working in the UK. Now, that's a corridor that we've been talking about to implementation. Now, with India specifically, there's been crypto-friendly regulation, thankfully, this year from their highest court. And I remember covering that quite happily, because without government approval, you're never going to get that corridor properly open utilizing on-demand liquidity as a means for actually settling, transfers from one fiat currency to another here. And it's funny how all this just kind of weaves together. You're talking about this particular company, TransferGo, engaging in remittances for third world countries, which, this is what Ripple essentially calls the low-hanging fruit, where there's the most friction in the world moving money from one country to another. A lot of times it is third world countries, and they're just expatriates. A lot of times, obviously when we talk about the United States to Mexico and the United States to Philippines, those are two of the most obvious ones, but they're expatriates the world over, not always in the United States, that need to send money back home. And this is a way to do it where they get to keep a bigger piece of the pie. And that's why Ripple, as I always state, is a force for good. Those that can least afford to lose money to intermediaries through the correspondent banking system are actually helped by this through the messaging portion of RippleNet, as well as, of course, the actual settlement layer, utilizing XRP as a bridge currency. Now, TransferGo inked a partnership with Ripple in 2019. I joined RippleNet and started saving up to 90% on transfer fees. Yeah, does that matter or does that not matter, right? This technology actually works. Now, as the Chinese-born pandemic is spreading across the earth along with the lockdown, TransferGo has been receiving a lot more clients wishing to send funds online. And, of course, everybody's been switching to more of a digital presence as a result of this. I mean, to the degree to which that's possible, depending on the industry that you're in, but certainly here, it makes all the sense in the world. And this company, this is why I keep saying these types of remittance companies that jump on board with this technology first, as corridors continue to come online, they're the first that are positioned to have a major competitive advantage. And check out this now, taking Ripple-powered cash transfers to 11 new countries. The cash wiring from TransferGo has also spread the word about rolling out to almost a dozen new markets, and they include Japan, Singapore, and New Zealand, to name just a few. Apart from Europe, TransferGo is now operating in Asia and Africa. The latter is a new vast market where the blockchain behemoth Ripple is expanding via its partners, including those connected with the ride-hailing giant Uber. And currently, the number of countries where TransferGo clients can receive cash totals 65. Though so far, you can only send money from just over 30 countries. But hey, it's building everything out right now. And these are the types of partners that are going to matter, because even it doesn't matter. Look, there are over 300. What was the latest number we saw? 350 financial institutions, so banks, remittance companies on RippleNet now. And I'm telling you, as it becomes, from a regulatory perspective, clear that it's okay to utilize a cryptocurrency as a bridge currency, and as corridors are built out and liquidity is increased, what do you think's going to happen here? And for me as an XRP holder, believing that utility matters and will win the day, I am as happy as a clam. I mean, I assume clams are happy. I don't know that factually, but I assume they're pretty happy. They don't look unhappy, all right? Now, from Cointelegraph survey, Japanese crypto holders prefer XRP over ETH. Despite the fact Ether is currently the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, Japanese crypto holders may prefer to hold XRP. According to the results of a survey posted to Twitter by Japanese cryptocurrency exchange BitMax on June 12th, Bitcoin is nearly as popular as the XRP token among traders in Japan. Look at these numbers. Look, XRP is about to overtake it. Listen to this. 25% of the 1,498 people surveyed told BitMax XRP was their favorite coin, compared to 26% who preferred Bitcoin. Ethereum came in third at just 9%. Now, it's kind of fascinating to me, because why is it, we could only sit here and speculate, but why is it specifically in Japan, right here in this particular instance, that Bitcoin maxi trolls are not winning the day here? I mean, technically they are, but only a little bit. But how come there's such a narrow gap? Because anytime you see these polls, if it's pretty much any exchange in the United States, it's just like, man, it's like there's a whole different mindset around cryptocurrency. I don't know. That's why I said I can only sit here and speculate. But where I live here in the United States, and I live in the Midwest here, good old humble Midwest, I get to engage with people all over the place here on the Twitters here. And my gosh, Bitcoin community members be hating on some XRP, which is irrational. It's just an emotional, ideologically driven thing by and large. It's a lot of people that are ignorant on the functionally what the XRP ledger is, how it operates, and all sorts of attributes that they just have misunderstanding of here. But it's the down with banks, down with the government thing. Are just people over there not quite as concerned about that? I don't know, but it's an interesting question. If anybody has an answer for that, I feel like that would be a good question for fellow XRP YouTuber Crypto Eddie. Like, I don't have my finger on the pulse of what's happening in the XRP community in Japan, for obvious reasons. I speak one language, and not very well. No, I'm just kidding. I speak two, English and gibberish. Pretty good at the gibberish one. Now, it's worth noting that the small sample size like that in the aforementioned survey may not necessarily make the results definitive. However, the Japan Virtual Currency Exchange Association, which is the JVCEA, reported similar findings in December of 2019. XRP was second behind Bitcoin among the number of yen-denominated digital asset holdings, with ETH also in third. Now, it's fascinating that Cointelegraph was willing to report on this, a positive headline, but do you think that's all they had to say? Well, what about this little subheading here? This is like this. I point this out sometimes. This is the narrative that the strategy that Bitcoinist.com likes to take, and newsbtc.com. They'll go ahead and, even if there's positive news, they'll report it as factually as they, or least factually, I should say, as they can get away with. Though they typically do put a lot of the facts down, but then if it's good news, they're going to spend the rest of the piece talking about unrelated stuff that's negative about Ripple and XRP. So here you go. Here's the subheading on Cointelegraph: XRP losing support outside Japan? ? Which is why my inflection went up like that, because it's a question. Cointelegraph reported in April that online engagement towards XRP on Twitter fell in Q1 2020. Dun, dun, dun. This is like the end of the world here, man. While Ripple was forced to liquidate many of its holdings to stay cash flow positive. Crypto analytics firm Masari released data showing XRP was the worst performing large cap token in 2019. Well, as far as Ripple and its funds, it has more money than God, effectively. So their funds not exactly a problem there. And then as far as XRP being the worst performing large cap token in 2019, I've talked about this, and it's just the people that want to write this, and that's Masari, run by Ryan Selkis. He's been in the news a lot the last day or two, and just putting all sorts of nonsense out there. In this case, it was just mentioned something from 2019, but still, I've debunked this already. I've debunked it. It's nonsense. All that they're doing is talking about a narrative. It doesn't mean that there's something fundamentally wrong with XRP and the opportunity therein. This is just something that it's just a narrative that they want to put out because they don't like XRP because it's being used by one developer, Ripple, to help the legacy financial system. And it's complete nonsense and hoo-ha, if you ask me. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!